Hi everyone and welcome back to your challenge. I realized that the last few videos were a bit more inquiry based, so I didn't lead you through a warm-up and an actual workout. I asked you to test things, so we're gonna go back to something a bit more action-based today. But at least we have laid down many foundations already, realizing maybe the gap that separates us between where we are at, what we are able to do chest to the wall today, and where we want to go. And understanding that our goal is to get closer to the desired alignment that we have identified as being the most conducive to being able to reach the wall at all or with more softness or consistency by working on each chest to the wall and figuring out how to get there without suffering a mental breakdown. Now, the obvious question today that we want to cover is, hold on, what happens if I fall? And so complete beginners and beginners, I'm not expecting you to know yet how to bail. Improvers, if you are able to do something freestanding, like so, and then fall after a few seconds, what you will realize though, right, even if you know how to bail, is that you have a tendency to bail too soon. I can promise you that I know people who have been working on their handstands for years. They can freestand, but they didn't manage to break through the threshold they could balance for, simply because they were always trying to nail the perfect handstand instead of learning to be comfortable in uncomfortable positions and bail later despite the feeling of fear that they were experiencing. So improvers, I can promise you, if you are at the stage where you can freestand somehow already, that you still need to be working on your bail. For that matter, I have in my method 12 different progressions. And I can promise you that the people I have in person in the studio here who are able to freestand and do the straddle and do the tuck for 30 seconds or more working on their press handstands right now, we're still struggling with the 12th progression. And this in turn meant that they were bailing too early, which in turn means that your consistency is poorer than what it could be, that your duration is poorer than what it could be, and those two things prevent you from getting straighter in the first place. All this to say, we all need to practice our bail. Now, bailing is your safety mechanism that will allow you to recover from a failed handstand. And you have to understand this, there is no such thing as always nailing a perfect handstand. There is no such thing as avoiding that part. And I hear this quite a lot. People saying, I just have to kick up into an optimal handstand and I will not need to bail. I will not need to face my fear. Yes, you will, because handstands by nature, they're a fall forward that you're trying to prevent. They are by nature suboptimal. What you want instead is be comfortable in those positions and know what to do if you cannot fight for it anymore. So let's say I kick up in a split leg position handstand and this leg goes too far. I need to know that my leg and my hands are going to move into this half cartwheel without me having to think about it. And for that matter, later and later, I don't want this to happen too soon. Beginners, complete beginners, you want this to happen at all. Improvers, you want to start making this happen later and later. Back to our action-based class today. We are going to put a bit of weight on our wrist, as we do. And I usually suggest that you do that for 2 to 5 minutes, especially if you feel that your wrists are becoming sore day by day. It's an important task to be performing even during the rest days. So you don't go upside down when you rest, but you strengthen your wrist and more so the soft tissues around the joint. Then we bring our hands facing forward. We align the shoulders over the hands. We're going to extend both legs in the plank position, and from here we're going to protract and retract the scapula, so basically perform a cat-cow, if that rings more of a bell. For 10 reps, your shoulders are nice and straight, and I'm just after doing a workout myself, so I can feel those much more than usual, and then you take a small break. If you are somebody like me who feels a lot of tension in their neck, usually when I rest, I go for a few neck circles here so that there is no tension lodging itself in the neck as we perform handstands. And yes, we can talk about gaze all day long, but that's another topic for another day. We go back into your plank. And the last drill of today is you're going to keep your shoulders nice and stacked, and you're going to walk your feet to your hands, and then walk your feet away from your hands. And walk your feet to your hands, and walk your feet away from your hands. Go back into the plank, and again. And you see, complete beginners, when you walk your feet towards your hands, you really want to keep as much weight, and everyone, you want to keep as much weight as you can on your hands and push that floor away. And that sensation of pushing the floor away, which should be hard, right? It's my job and I still feel it. It's kind of what you want to be experiencing when you kick up. Our hands are not just passively flopping on the ground. We're pushing the floor away to grow taller in the process and convert this kind of vector that goes towards the wall into something, into a fulcrum where the legs go over the hips because the upper body stops moving. Now, at that stage, you may want to include any other warm-up drill that we have seen together or that you know of and that you like, so you can pause the video, perform those, and then press play again. If you live in a sunny country like mine, you may want to have your toes nice and warm. So what I like to do is simply just that, going up and down. There's many things we can do. We're going to do this 10 or 20 times. Heels up and down, knees nice and straight. And then we're going to bend the knees. Heels are off the ground. We're going to drop the knees down, sit our bum between both heels. The toes are curled on the ground, and we're going to bounce here just to warm up the toes a bit more. That's not the most comfortable, I'm aware. There's a nice way to ensure that your toes are ready for what's coming. You do that for a few seconds, and then off we go. Today, your homework is the following. You're going to go chest to the wall, and I want you to identify the side that you swing your back leg with. Back to what we were saying before day one. Back leg, front leg. If I swing my back leg on the right side, I want to bring my attention on the right hand, and vice versa. Left leg, left hand. What we will do today is the following. We're going to go chest to the wall. Bring one hand forward. You can use the toes on the wall to help you do so. Bring the leg on that side, so your back leg, towards the floor, and push on the foot on the wall to transfer your weight from the wall to the floor. So if I'm somebody who swings the right leg, I'm going to go chest to the wall. Take 3 seconds here, then step with the right hand, right foot takes off the wall, right foot looks at the wall, at the floor, sorry, and we transfer the weight like that. If I'm somebody who swings the left leg, opposite. Climb up, left hand forward, left foot off, left foot down, transfer. You're gonna do that 5 times. Record and send.